Hi, my name's Doug. My YouTube channel that you're watching right now is Grandpa Doug Learns Fortnite. I consider myself a novice with Fortnite. This video is made intending to help my friend Josh Kinder as he's learning Fortnite, and anyone else who is wanting to learn the basics of Fortnite and get started. He's, I don't know, somewhere around level 10 or 12 at this point, I guess. Josh has a couple of disabilities. I'm more interested in his abilities than disabilities, so you might hear reference to those. And I will put his channel information into the description of this video. He's going to be live streaming on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. Today is September 1st, 2022 on a Thursday. It's about 5:42 p.m. So this is going to be about making some adjustments in your settings for Fortnite. Josh, we're going to do some key bindings and a couple other things. So I'm going to punch over here to the game. Come up here to the menu on the upper left corner, that 3-bar menu. Click on that. Come down to the settings gear. And I've seen you into the settings before, so I know you've been in there poking around a little bit. Click on settings. I'm going to start over here on the key bindings. It's these buttons up here that look like the arrow keys on your keyboard. So click on that. And then here you have the key bindings for your movement. Now, Josh, you're going to have to decide what keys make sense for you. I don't think it makes sense for you to use my key bindings because I'm a touch typist and my fingers work pretty good on the keyboard, but you might want to do something different. I don't know what it might be, but it could be that you're using a keyboard that has this dedicated number section on the keys and has these buttons here. You could use some of these keys for your buttons. I know you're already using arrow keys for your movements for forward, backwards, left, and right. I did the left and right wrong. But then for jump and sprint and crouch, you might be wanting to use these keys. I'll be showing you what keys are selected for me and tell you about what keys are default. So here's the movement forward. On the keyboard, that's normally the W key, but I switched it to the S because I like S for forward and W for move backward. But the defaults in Fortnite is W for forward and S for backwards. Then there's a second key, and that's the up arrow key, and I think that's what you've been using. So you're using the up arrow key to move forward, left arrow key to move left, down to move backwards, and then the right arrow key to move to the right. Now those keys don't turn you to that direction. You'll be facing forward and you move to the right or move to the left. So sometimes that's useful. Sometimes you actually want to use your mouse to turn your character. So you can change these keys. For instance, I'll change this S back to W. So when I clicked on the S, it's waiting for me to press a key, and I'll press W. And it says this change will unbind another action. Are you sure? And down here it tells me what that other action is, and that is move backward is the W key down. That's what I currently have it set for. If I click confirm, then it's going to go ahead and make that change. So now W is forward instead of backward. But notice what happened here on my move backward. I have nothing there now because I just took that key to go somewhere else. So I got to click in this field and then say what I want to use for my move backward key. So I'll click on that and then press the letter S, and that puts an S right there. So that gets me back to the default Fortnite settings. I don't want that, so I'm going to change these back. I'll click on this S and then press W, and it says, are you sure this will unbind another action? And the other action that it's going to unbind is moving forward. I'll click confirm, and then I've got to come back up here and fix my move forward button. I'll click in there and press S. Now the reason why I like my movements that way is because then I have S for forward, and then right next to my finger that's pressing the S key, I have the A for left and I have the D for right. So I find that real convenient because usually when I want to move left and right, I'm moving forward at that time. Having one finger up here on the W and these two fingers, my fingers just don't work real well that way. So it's all about finding how do your fingers work best on the keyboard. So you may be keeping if you might continue just using the up, left, down, and right arrow keys for your movement, that's fine. But I've shown you here how to make the changes. Now, what is more significant to you, I think, is jump and sprint and crouch. I don't think you're going to worry about auto run. I don't think you need to worry about these jogs. I don't pay attention to those at all. But you do need to have convenient access to make your character jump. Now, that jump key is going to be for jumping out of the bus. It's also going to be used for activating your glider when you're skydiving down to the island. And it's also going to be jumping when you're traveling across the island or traveling across the map. For me, that's left shift. I think the default was the space bar. So I'll click in here, press the space bar to change it back to the space bar. And it tells me this change will unbind another action. And that is sprint, because I'm using space bar for sprint. So I'm going to decline that change because I don't really want to make the change. I think I've got the point across. That's how you change your key bindings. And over here in this, for the alternative actions, those are for mouse buttons. Some mice have buttons on the left side or the right side or elsewhere. And that's what a person would typically put in here, is what they want their mouse actions to be for those functions. I don't use the mouse buttons. My mouse does have those buttons, but I find it more convenient to use the keyboard. I like having sprint on the space bar because, now you're not going to have the same reasons probably, because I don't think your fingers work the same way as mine. But when I'm using the S key to move forward, I like to be able to sprint. So hitting that spacebar with my thumb is real convenient. I don't know why I'm trying to do this up in the air. I've got a camera aimed at my keyboard. So my thumb can hit the spacebar real easy while my finger is using the S key to move forward. The default of having the spacebar for jump, I didn't need that so much. I don't need to jump that much. So I use the left shift key for jumping, and I do that with my pinky finger. Then the other one is crouch. Is normally the default for that is the control key. I find that really difficult for my little finger to reach down here, as you see in my camera image there, to reach to the caps lock key to crouch. So I changed that to be my caps lock key. So I have my little finger doing the shift key and the caps lock key, and that's kind of okay for me. Not real easy, because you see as I'm moving around, that kind of moves the rest of my fingers a little bit. But when I go down to that control key, that just really moves my fingers too much. So that's what key bindings are all about, is finding some way that the keys are easy for you to get to for the actions that you care about. So you're going to probably figure that out for yourself. The rest of these down here, I don't think you need to mess with, and we might get into some of those later in your development with Fortnite, but I don't think we need to do that yet. Let's go to the next change I think you should make, is come here to the speaker. Click on that, and then scroll. Here's a scroll bar. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. This one down here for licensed audio. Since you are live streaming your gameplay, you don't want copyrighted music playing, because you're going to get copyright notices for that, or even copyright strikes, but probably not for music. Mostly they just want to give you a notice so that they can make the money off of it. So anyway, you want this setting to be on mute all. See how this bar right here is bright? That's currently set to mute all. You can also see that over here, or I'm pointing where it says mute all. So I'm going to press this left arrow here, and you'll see that selection change over on the right. As you cycle through this, you want this to say mute all for licensed audio. You can also click on them over here. Whoop, no you can't. I thought you could click on them over here, but you can't. So you have to use these arrows here. Now notice as I move the mouse around here, that right-hand side of the screen changes. So when you're coming down to make a change on an item, you need to make sure you've got it lit up or highlighted. And it's a little bit weird because I find I have to move the mouse down to the very bottom of that field. See, when I actually point my mouse right onto the words licensed audio, I'm not actually on this option. If I come up here and then come back down and just get to licensed audio, see, it hasn't actually switched to licensed audio yet until I move the mouse down low enough for that field to actually light up. Now I can come over here. Now, it's okay if it gets unlit as I come over here because no, it's not. Well, that's interesting. It won't change. I have to keep that lit. And then I can make changes to those menu options. I didn't notice that. Now, if that's lit right now, can I get all the way over here and make changes? No, I can't. So you have to have that field lit up, and then you can make the changes. So you want mute all. Then the next change for you, I don't think, nothing in here. That's for controllers. Here for mouse sensitivity. How sensitive is your mouse? If you say mean things to it, will it cry? It's such a Doug. X-axis sensitivity and Y-axis sensitivity. So a person might say, well, I want full sensitivity. No, you do not. That's not a good thing. What sensitivity means is when you move the mouse, you can see me on my camera moving the mouse, how far does the cursor move on the screen? And this has to do with when you're moving your mouse to turn your character, or more significantly, you're aiming a gun at an opponent, you want to fire at them. If you have to move your mouse a longer distance to get a small amount of aiming, that's helpful because you can aim at things easier. Now, I'm not sure if the change actually shows up in here. If I move, watch how far I move my mouse across the pad to get all the way across the width of that bar. Now, if I turn the sensitivity way up to the top, I would move it less, but I haven't seen that effect yet. I'm going to come down here and click A to apply. Also here, I have to move the mouse down to the very bottom of that button to get it to light up, and then click it. Now let's see if that has changed anything. Nope, that's pretty similar. I don't think you're going to notice that change until you're in game. So you might want to try it at both of these settings up at 100%, apply it, and go play a game, and then go bring this way down to like 10%, apply that, and go into a game and feel the difference. It's a huge difference. When you're at 10%, you're going to have to move the mouse a longer distance across your mouse pad in order to turn your character or aim or look at something that you want to pick up. I've come to the point where I like this setting right about here. Targeting sensitivity. When you're working with weapons that have a scope, you can press the right mouse button to aim and you'll be looking through the scope. Different guns have different kind of aiming mechanisms, so it's going to look differently. This is how sensitive is your mouse when you're using the right mouse button to target, to aim at something. Now, I don't know how your fingers work on the mouse and whether you can hold your right mouse button down while you click the left mouse button to shoot at somebody. So maybe that's something that interests you, maybe it's not. The rest of these we don't care about. You don't need to be messing with those. Now, the x-axis sensitivity and y-axis sensitivity, it's possible you might want to have those different, and I might be playing with those because watch my mouse on the mouse pad in the video. As you're moving left and right, the best way to do that is to actually be swinging your entire arm. If you just do your wrist motion like you see there, your wrist is going to get really tired. So left and right should be done with your whole arm, but up and down should not really be your whole arm the way I'm demonstrating here. Up and down should be a finger movement. Now, again, that depends upon how your fingers work, and I don't know. So those of you who don't know, Josh has some physical disabilities, but we're going to focus more on his abilities and figure out how best Fortnite will work for him. So finger motion is going to be less wearing on the whole arm and hand, because sliding your arm forward and back to move up and down is kind of difficult. Just put it that way. Okay. So then moving on to this one, we don't need any gyro options. We don't need to deal with any HUD options. But here's some changes you might like. Toggle sprint. So whatever key that you assign for sprinting, do you want to be able to press that key and let go of it and your character keeps sprinting? I have that turned off because I have the sprint set to the space bar, and I'm fine with holding the space bar down for the amount of time that I want to sprint. And you have a limited amount of time that you can sprint. So if you use the toggle for that, then when you press your sprint button, your character is going to keep sprinting until it runs out of energy, which is just a few seconds, or crashes into something, I guess. So you can turn that on and off. As long as this field is highlighted, you can click that left arrow, or you can be doing it on the right arrow that just rotates behind them. So whichever one you leave lit up, that's the setting that you have, and you can see over on the right hand side of the screen that it's highlighting on and off. And now that I say the right hand side of the screen, I realize I might have had my left and right directions mixed up earlier. If so, people will just be laughing at me because it was obvious. So you make that choice. And then auto open doors. When you go up to a door that's closed, right now I think it's making you press the letter E to open the door. But if you turn this to the on position like I have it, that means when you go walk up to a door, it's going to automatically open for you. And that's what I have mine set to, and I suspect you'll like that, because then you don't have to go mess with pressing the E key to open doors. Mantle activation. Yeah, that's for jumping up on a ledge. I have mine set on hold jump, meaning the jump key, which for me is the shift key. I hold the shift key when I'm at a ledge that I can jump up onto. And the alternative is that you hold the forward key. Well, there's a description over on the right-hand side of the screen. Can I move the mouse over there? Yeah, I can. So with hold forward, this explains that. Hold forward in the air, meaning you have to first jump into the air and then hold your forward button in order to grab onto a ledge. I like it where I hold the jump, I jump and hold that jump key to grab onto a nearby ledge. And it doesn't matter so much whether I have my forward key depressed or not. So I'm going to switch that back to the way that I like to have it. The rest of these I don't think you need to make any changes to. They're mostly not applicable, or maybe you'll be interested in them later. I think that's all that I wanted to point out to you at this point. So you have to apply any changes that you make on these screens. You have to apply before exiting from the screen. All the changes you made on all of these buttons, you can wait and click the apply button when you're done with all of that. So here's apply, and then press escape or click on this escape button to get back to the lobby. Then you're ready to go play a game. I think that's all for this video. So Josh, whoops, that didn't work. I was trying to get back to my face cam. Oh, I got these all set up wrong. I don't know where it is. I'll just say goodbye here. So Josh is going to be live streaming on Friday evening, his time, and Saturday and Sunday. I'll put a link to his channel. You'll be able to see there what the local time is for you. I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.